At a small airport in New Mexico, Tommy Robbins has planned a surprise for his brother-in-law.
I figured it would be very nice to rent an airplane and tour the area from the air. I was really looking forward to the flight.
Hey, Justin. Hey, here you are, buddy.
Today, Tommy's good friend, Justin Kirkbride, will be piloting the plane.
Well, this is our girl.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Tommy asked me if I would take him up, and I said, sure, no problem.
Looking good.
You guys all set? You bet. Let's go flying.
Both Justin and Tommy are qualified pilots, with experience of flying over the Colorado Rockies.
We were going to go up and basically do my standard sightseeing flight, and our expectation was to go up and be back for lunch and then head home.
Out in open country, the friends find flying is the perfect way to watch the local wildlife.
Larry was looking here, looking there, pointing. He was like a kid in a candy store.
It was gorgeous, and all positives and nothing but fun and Yahoo, yay.
An hour into the flight, the friends decide to head higher into the mountains. In front of them is a vast ridge of snow-capped peaks. Justin's pilot training kicks in. He knows he has to stay calm.
At that point, it became about slowing the aircraft down to minimize the impact as much as possible.
Your adrenaline goes off like crazy.
All of a sudden, you're about to die.
Time slows down.
We hit the trees.
Big, horrible banging noises.
Miraculously, Justin is completely unscathed. But the three friends are far from out of trouble.
The first thing that I remember seeing was the fuel. It was just like, oh my God, that's fuel. That scared me.
One spark could turn the wreck into a giant fireball.
Larry! We gotta get out now, Larry! Fuel's everywhere, we gotta go!
I told Larry, you have to get out of the aircraft right now. And he told me that his leg hurt. I explained to him he has to get out now if he doesn't want to burn to death.
Finally got it together. I managed to go backward out of the plane.
The plane could blow at any second. But Tommy is unconscious. He's taken a serious blow to the head.
Wake up! Tommy, wake up, man, we gotta get out of here! Tommy! We got fuel everywhere, wake up!
I yelled at him and he didn't respond.
Tommy! Please!
I was very concerned that I'd killed one of my best friends.
Tommy, come on!
Justin has to haul Tommy's 220-pound dead weight out of the plane.
The first thing I remember is a horrible pain in my side, and I believe that is when Justin broke my ribs.
The three friends have to get away from the fuel-soaked wreck. But Larry can't walk.
As soon as I put any weight on the leg, I just I immediately fell over and screamed.
Larry, get up, come on, stand up. Stand up. Head up, boy, come on.
When I got him to his feet, the pain in my side was excruciating. But I felt it was more important to get away from the gasoline than it was to worry about the pain.
The three men somehow managed to get far enough away and out of danger.
I looked at the plane. It was, wow, we could have all died. I thought, we're pretty lucky to walk out of that one.
So we're in this situation. What do you do to make it better? I needed to do something. I was thinking about going back to the aircraft to make a radio call.
Now pilot Justin Kirkbride has to risk turning on the electrics if he's going to transmit an SOS call and save his two severely injured friends.
For me, my thought process was that I was probably going to burn to death. But I just decided that it was worth the risk. I truly believed that as soon as I turned the batteries on, that it was game over. I took a deep breath and nothing happened.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
So I made my call.
November 3535 Echo. Cessna 172 due north of Durango in a canyon unknown.
But there's no response to his mayday call.
You know, I had no way of knowing if there was any signal that got out at all. And realistically, nobody knows where we are. My initial thought was that I need to get help here.
They're in the middle of a mountain wilderness. And there's no guarantee the rescue services even know they've crashed. Larry is completely immobile, and Tommy's massive hit to the head could develop into serious brain damage if he's not treated soon.
I just put in a mayday call. I don't know if it got out.
I definitely felt like I'd let them down.
I'm so sorry. It's all my fault.
I needed to do something to get them the help that they needed.
Look. It was an accident. It wasn't your fault.
He felt really badly about it. So he was going to do everything he could to get us off that mountain as quickly as possible.
Justin believes the only way of getting help is by hiking out into the icy wilderness, unprepared and totally alone. He knows he's risking frostbite and even hypothermia, but he can't stay here and watch his buddy slowly die.
Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine. I think I can get help.
Justin remembers flying over the town of Durango 10 minutes before they crashed.
I can get to Durango.
I knew that it probably wasn't more than maybe 15 miles.
Look, you're gonna have to talk to Larry. Say something. Reassure him. All right?
Yeah, okay. Larry. Larry. Have you ever been in a helicopter? No. I'm gonna get you one, okay? Soon.
Justin faces an added challenge. He has to get there by nightfall. Temperatures in the Colorado Rockies can plummet to minus 30 degrees as darkness falls. All three men are only lightly dressed and could freeze to death by morning.
Dark to me was a definitive end, so I was more worried about getting help before dark than anything else.
Miles away, Justin Kirkbride is trying to use his mobile phone to alert the rescue services. But he just can't get a strong enough signal.
I ran up the hill, and then I called again.
Rich, hey, it's Justin Kirkbride. Listen, don't say a thing.
And this time they could hear me.
We went out. We had a crash. I put out a mayday call. I don't know if anyone's heard me. Oh.
Justin is told that an air patrol is already looking for them. The alarm was raised after they failed to return to the airfield.
Good. Okay, don't go. Stay with me, all right?
Using his phone, Justin is able to guide them to his position.
There wasn't a lot of time to think about, yippee! It was more,
Here!
let's go find Tommy and Larry. Because now we have the ability to find them and get them out of here tonight.
Tommy and Larry are unaware any kind of rescue operation has begun. As darkness falls, the temperature drops below freezing. They're over 9,000 feet up the side of a mountain, with leg and possible brain injuries. Justin is being picked up by the rescue services, as the freezing temperatures could kill the injured men before morning. A specialist Air Force helicopter with night vision headsets has been drafted in to allow the airborne surge to continue through the night.
They asked if I wanted to go in the helicopter and, if I could show them where I flew, maybe we could see the wreck.
There! Right there. We crashed about 2/3 of the way up that slope.
I hear the drone of the helicopter engines. And then I saw these lights coming up the valley.
Please. Where? Over here! Here! What's this? Try and catch the lights.
I was trying to reflect their searchlight.
And we're done here!
The searchlights would flash on the trees between us and the crashed airplane.
Hey! Hey! Over here! Help!
Occasionally, one would flash just straight across where we're staying.
Here! Hey! Here!
We were yelling and shouting like crazy. Yeah, we were waving our arms, yelling and shouting everything.
Hidden by the trees, Larry and Tommy remain invisible to the helicopter crew above.
I knew we should have found them by now. Why weren't they out running around waving their arms? Because if they're waving their arms, we can see them. Why can't we see them? I was certain that we were in the right canyon, but after enough times of not seeing what you're looking for, you begin to wonder.
The helicopter crew decides to search another part of the valley.
Tommy. Tommy. Wake up. The helicopter's come back. Wake up. Hey! Hey! Help! Hey, we're here! Over here! Help!
When they came back the second time, they were flying much slower. The lights were bright when they flashed the lights across us because they were much, much closer.
Hey! Hey!
The first time, they had come so close and yet not found us. And that's when I remembered that I had a camera in my pocket. So I got out of the hole, walked over into kind of a clearing. I had 5 flashes left. And so I took my camera out and aimed at the helicopters as they were flying along their route. I flashed it as they came by. First low, next a bit up, next straight across from us, next further behind us. But they didn't see us. I fired off the last of my flashes. The 5th flash. And the helicopter paused and started searching with the searchlight. And then they spotted the airplane.
It was fantastic. It was like hallelujah. It was the best present, the best thing that ever happened to me.
Justin has delivered on his promise to get his friends help.
I knew that we'd found them. I've done everything I could possibly do. And so, yeah, I was definitely relieved and happy.
The helicopter crew search for a clearing from which to pick up the 2 injured and exhausted men.
And all of a sudden, the helicopter bumped a couple times, like some turbulence. And I thought, wow, that was weird. And we just spun around and bam, into the side of the mountain.
It's the second time Justin Kirkbride has been in an air crash in 24 hours. As the night drags on, Tommy and Larry start to wonder what has happened to their friend.
We're sort of like, well, where'd the helicopter go? Why did it go away and where did it go?
What started as a routine sightseeing trip has turned into a fight for survival. As it gets to the coldest part of the night, the battle with constant pain and injury has left them with no fight left.
I started thinking about loved ones and my dogs and, you know, whether we were actually going to live through the night. I was tired, I was aching. I was just ready to close my eyes.
You can't. If you give up, you're done. And I started to have those thoughts. That's a real low. That was the lowest point for me. At that point, pretty soon thereafter, I started regularly yelling.
Hello!
I wanted to hear someone's voice.
Hello! 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 Hey!
All of a sudden, I heard someone yelling back, and someone answered. And that is a wonderful, wonderful sound. That is the best sound ever.
After nearly 19 hours fighting to survive, Tommy and Larry's ordeal is over.
I felt like I could, just let myself go and, surrender to the pains because I no longer really had to do anything. I was done with my night in the woods.
This here.
So I knew that we were going to make it at that point. We're basically saved. It was just the best thing ever.
Larry and Tommy are saved by a ground-based rescue team working independently from the helicopter crew. The team was dispatched from Durango the minute the plane had been reported missing. The rescuers were guided by the coordinates Justin had given them and followed his tracks in the snow. Under a mile away, Justin and the helicopter crew had survived their crash. The helicopter's main rotor had hit a tree, and it had fallen 70 feet to the ground. But all 8 passengers made it out completely unscathed. Larry and Tommy were airlifted to the hospital in Durango. They were reunited with Justin later that day. None of the 3 friends had any lasting injuries from the crash. Costa Rica is a small country that is both densely forested and very mountainous. If visibility is poor, low-level flying can be extremely dangerous. And clouds are gathering.
When I look out of the window and I see clouds, that's a little frightening to me.
Fine, okay?
I don't particularly like flying up there because it is a rough ride sometimes. They are small planes.
But on this flight, Michael sees something out of the ordinary.
I noticed the 2 pilots conferring with each other, looking a little concerned, and I realized what they were doing was looking at coordinates in these books, trying to pinpoint their position because they weren't sure where they were.
The plane has basic navigation equipment on board, but the pilots are relying on charts and maps to reach their destination. But now they're flying in dense cloud and almost zero visibility. They're unaware that they're already off course and heading for a mountain.
These clouds are getting very dark.
It's fine. Brandy said, "Look how thick these clouds are." And so I looked outside of our window, and it got darker and darker.
horrifying. That was my ultimate fear coming true.
What goes through your head is the fact that you're not gonna live through this.
You're headed for the mountain. You're headed for the mountain to die.
I remember thinking, we're not flying anymore. We're going through the trees. Is this even happening?
My stomach dropped. My mind just went blank.
To hear things break apart, just the sound that it makes is unbelievable.
My first thought was, you're not getting out of this.
I wake up and it's freezing cold, and my entire body was soaked in jet fuel. I was in a plane on vacation, and now I'm in a black hole that I can't move my legs, and it's blood just everywhere. Brandy was head to toe blood. And I remember thinking, oh my God.
Brandy! 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 Wake up! Can you hear me? Brandy! Wake up, Brandy! Brandy, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
My first memory was Brandon talking to me.
Brandy, listen to me. You gotta get out of here. We're covered in jet fuel.
Oh my God.
Get your belt. Let's go.
I remember feeling completely panicked and completely in disarray.
Hurry, go! Get away from the plane!
Outside the plane, Brandy is horrified by the devastation of the wreckage and the bodies of the two pilots.
Trees were knocked down. There was a mess of plane parts, wires. There's smoke everywhere. There's people wandering around. There's people that are dead. How could this have happened? How could the pilots have let this happen?
German Silke Freebold and Costa Rican Alvaro Zuniga have also survived the crash. But the danger is far from over. Leaking fuel is soaking the wreckage, and Brandon is trapped inside.
Brandon! Get out of the plane! It's on fire!
I just remember having something on my legs.
Brandon is pinned under the body of a dead passenger, Costa Rican Adolfo Strasburger.
Hurry up, Brandon!
Go! Get away from the plane! Get away from the plane!
Quick!
Get away from the plane!
The survivors need to get a safe distance from leaking fuel. But in severe pain from extensive burns, Alvaro is unable to move.
Come on, we gotta get away from the plane!
Now able to take in the extent of the wreckage, Brandon and Brandy realize just how lucky they are to be alive.
The wings were ripped off, and the fuselage was turned upside down, and from the seat in front of us, the plane was completely dismantled.
Hey, let's sit in the front.
Oh, let's just sit one seat behind.
By total chance, Brandy's request that they sit in the second row has saved their lives.
I just remember thinking, there's no reason and no way that we should be alive right now. If anyone were to be sitting in that front row, they would have been killed. We should have died. No rhyme or reason about it. It wasn't our time.
Baby.
Brandon is bloodied and battered. As a trained nurse, Brandy instinctively takes action.
My wife went to school to be a nurse. It was just intuitive that she had known what to do.
He had broken all the bones around his eye, and his face was swollen.
He also has deep cuts on his arms that are bleeding heavily.
Okay, it's okay, sorry.
Silke is relatively unhurt, but appears traumatized by the death of her friend Adolfo.
It's okay, sweetie. I'm a nurse, all right? What's your name? Silke.
Silke was not in a good place. She was psychologically pretty messed up. I mean, she had been conscious the whole plane crash.
I saw the whole thing.
I was really worried about her mentally.
Suddenly, Brandon remembers there had been 6 passengers on the flight. 1 is dead in the plane, and 4 have survived. So someone is missing.
I'm Michael. Brandon. Where's Michael?
The next thing that I remember is that I woke up on my back, looking up at the sky and the trees. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I was just in a plane crash. And I'm alive. I remember just thinking about where I was, about where the plane was, because I didn't see anything around me except for trees.
The sheer violence of the crash has thrown Michael Packard's body some 200 feet from the plane. Adrenaline floods through him. He's unaware of just how seriously he's injured.
I was in shock, so I really didn't feel the pain yet.
Michael has a severed Achilles tendon and a crushed eye socket. He has 4 cracked ribs and a punctured lung. It's a miracle he's alive, but he'll need an even greater miracle to survive.
All of a sudden, I heard voices. And I started to make my way towards the voices the best that I could.
He's here. Michael. We got you, man. It's okay.
I'm just happy there was somebody else to go through that with. Because I knew it was going to be tough.
Michael, I'm a nurse.
put your weight on me. It's okay.
All right, Michael, look at me. Okay, I'm a nurse. I'm just gonna check you.
Brandy instantly recognizes that Michael is in serious trouble.
He didn't look right. He was pale, really dehydrated. His eye was sunken in. He worried me the most.
Brandy is concerned that he may have internal bleeding, which, untreated, could kill him within hours. But imminent rescue is unlikely. In the cold light of dawn, Brandon and Brandy know that time is running out. Michael has made it through the night, but his body is increasingly starved of oxygen. His breathing is shallow, and he looks like he's dying.
You're good, buddy. Hang in there, Michael. Okay?
I think we would have lost him in another day.
It was like, how are we going to get through this day? It was a paralyzing feeling of what to do next.
They've been missing for 18 hours. They've crashed in remote jungle, and there's no sign of help.
We had given up hope for rescue. We thought if we're gonna stay alive, it's gonna be because of us.
Okay.
We can't sit here any longer. So we're on a mountain. There's a valley below. Why don't we go down there, see if we can find a river to follow?
By leaving, they risk getting lost, with no guarantee of finding their way back. But they must take action. If they do nothing, Brandon knows Michael will not survive the day.
To be forced to come up with the answers that are going to make you survive or not is something that I wouldn't probably wish on anyone.
I think we should go. We all need help pretty bad. I can just stay here and watch us die.
We had no other choice. We had to do something. You have to take that risk, or else you're all gonna be dead.
Michael, we're gonna go out, okay? See what we can find.
Michael fears that if they're left behind, he and Alvaro will die.
He kept saying, "Don't leave us. Please don't leave us."
I didn't want to be left alone because I thought if they got lost, they wouldn't be able to find their way back.
I felt bad leaving them, but I also knew there was nothing more we could do for Michael or Alvaro. And there was no good in us just sitting there looking at each other and not doing anything.
It could have worked out. It could have been completely catastrophic.
I remember when they left, I had this lonely, empty feeling.
The others have set off in search of rescue, leaving Michael and Alvaro helpless and alone.
I was incapable of taking care of myself, and Alvaro was also incapable of taking care of himself. I was definitely on a downward spiral. If I didn't get rescued soon, I could only last so long in this condition.
Michael has lost all hope of rescue and resigns himself to death in the jungle.
I heard voices yelling. And all of a sudden, this man appears out of the jungle.
Are you all right?
Over here! Over here!
You're safe now.
An army of Red Cross volunteers has been combing the area for 24 hours and has finally found the crash site.
I just started crying, and it was the most emotional period. I couldn't believe it.
What was that?
For the others, believing they're lost forever, a miraculous stroke of luck saves their lives.
Just like in Indiana Jones, the guy comes through the fields and he has a machete and a backpack.
Against all odds, a local farmer and member of the search team literally stumbles upon them.
It was the most incredible feeling I've ever had. It was just pure joy.
Oye, este es Marvin.
It was complete elation. I remember sitting down and thinking, this is unbelievable.
Rescued from the Costa Rican jungle, Silke, Alvaro, and Michael made a full recovery.
I think it was just luck that I survived. I have a beautiful family. I have 2 beautiful sons. When things get tough, hey, you're just lucky you're here.
Brandon and Brandy's injuries healed, and they returned to America. They're still happily married and have 2 young children.
You can't go through something like that and not be closer. I was with my husband. He was my family, and he was right next to me, taking care of me.
I am definitely happy to be here. I'm happy to have a second chance. And I'm happy to have my wife and 2 beautiful little kids that remind me every day of the reason that I'm probably here.